Kevin Benedict, SAP Mentor and Enterprise Mobility Analyst. I want to thank you for joining us today for my video comments. Today we're going to talk about four-dimensional field services and four-dimensional enterprise mobility. What does three-dimensional mean? Let's start there. Three-dimensional, length, height, and width. So those three things are what really come together to make a GPS coordinate. So what is fourth dimension? Fourth dimension is the addition of time to length, width, and height. So how does that relate to enterprise mobility and field services? Let's talk about that today. When you look at a map and you're trying to track your field force, your different trucks, your different specialized equipment, your different inventory levels, your different parts, your different personnel with their different skill sets, if you just place them on a map and snap a photo of that map, that's not going to help you a lot with your planning. All you know is at some time and place, that's where your people were. But how are you going to know that so that you can plan around that? Well, you need to have time on that map. So not only can you see the location of your objects or your people and their assets and their inventories and skill sets, etc., but you can see where they were at a particular time. So you know how far they have to drive from point A to point B, how long that's going to take, when did they get there, when did they start the job, when did they complete the job, all kinds of very critical information like that. It is what I call the intersection of objects, places, and time. It's very important because if you're managing a real-time enterprise, you have to know where all your objects are at a particular time and place. And let's talk about that word, objects. Mobilizing objects for optimized performance. What do we mean by objects? Let's talk about people. You need to mobilize your people so you know where they're at, so you can communicate with them, exchange data with them, have them collect data, share data, query data, and also know where they are. Schedules. You need to mobilize your schedules so that you're taking advantage of the data, the mobile data that says where your people are when you consider scheduling. Skill sets. You need to mobilize and make available information regarding skill sets. You don't want to send a service technician to fix some piece of equipment that they have no expertise in and no knowledge of. So that needs to be a component of mobility. So you're saying, yes, you have an individual ready and available for work, but does he have what it takes to do the next job? Qualifications. You need to have that connected to mobility too. So when you see a dot on a map and it says, here's an available service tech, you know if he's qualified. You know if he has the skill sets. You know if he has the experience necessary. Also, when you have a particular job that needs to be done, you need to know, does this particular work crew, and perhaps their vans and trucks or lorries, have the necessary parts to go out and do the job? That's another important question. Mobilizing your inventory and knowing where your parts are and whether or not the team going out to do a job has the assumed parts. Locations. You need to mobilize locations, as we know. Workforce tracking, vehicle tracking, specialized equipment tracking. Now let's talk about what that means. Oftentimes on a particular job, you may need a piece of specialized equipment. Let's say a backhoe. You need a backhoe, but you only need that backhoe for 15 minutes of the day. So you don't want to drive the backhoe out and park it on site for the duration of the entire workday when that backhoe can be used at multiple locations throughout the day. So that backhoe needs to be tracked, and you need to know, have mobile communications or M-to-M communications, machine-to-machine communications, where you can GPS, you can track that particular backhoe, and you know exactly where it is at any one time. So you can set up a unique schedule for the backhoe as well, because maybe it's needed 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 4 hours here, and another hour in another location. You don't want to attach that backhoe to a job that's going to take 8 hours. It needs to have its own mobile communications and mobile data exchanges and schedules. The schedule should be different from a schedule associated with a service tech that may have it, in fact. Transportation. Some of the specialized equipment actually needs specialized transportation or trailers or trucks to deliver it. So you don't want to connect a particular tractor without connecting the trailer that takes it somewhere. So both of those things have to be mobilized so you know where they both are, because you need both to do the job. Available vendors. If you need a subcontractor or a vendor to help on a particular job, they also need to be connected in, and you need to know their location, their schedules, how to communicate with them, all in a mobile world too. Because really, as we talked about earlier, the concept of velocity in field services is the ability to consider an object's direction and speed. The ability to bring all these various components that are necessary to successfully fulfill one job. You need to bring them all together at the right time. You don't want to bring them all together over the period of 4 weeks. You want them all there at 9 a.m., including the customer, so they can open the gate and let you to the job site. You want to know if your subcontractors are available. It'd be great to have them plugged into mobile communications too. Job site access, permissions, inspections, and certificates are all important, especially when you're out there doing work on a particular environment that has to be inspected by a government body. You need to know when that inspection is going to take place, and you need to know when you're going to be able to get certified or approved so you can move forward. Again, it would be very powerful to have that process connected into mobility. Again, the point here is everything involved in doing successful projects and successful field services work really needs to be plugged into mobility. It's not just about one person in one handheld being able to receive a dispatch service ticket and complete the service ticket and notifying the person back. To really do a successful job, especially when you get into utilities and the larger enterprises, you want to be able to pull all the various components, the mobile objects, mobilize all those objects so that you can consider them all when you're putting a job together. With that, I want to thank you very much for joining. If we don't talk before the holidays, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining.